The situation in the Middle East is likely to escalate again. The U.S. military's most advanced aircraft carrier, the Ford, is rushing through the Red Sea to urgently support Israel. All signs point to the U.S. preparing for a major escalation of the war. Earlier, Iran announced that its drones hit the U.S. carrier Lincoln, and now it seems that claim might not be baseless. Normally, if the Lincoln were still fully operational, the U.S. military could easily have the USS Ford take the safer route around the Cape of Good Hope in Africa. But instead, they chose to go through the Red Sea, a high-risk area controlled by Houthi militants, and head south quickly. This likely means they urgently need an aircraft carrier to fill a gap in their combat power. Just 8 days ago, the Pentagon sent a report to the White House confidently stating that the operation codenamed Epic Fury was underway. Iran's military resistance is supposed to be completely wiped out within a month, but the reality is totally different. Recently, Iran even pulled out its ace card, the Khorramshahr, for ballistic missile. This missile can carry dozens of warheads and strike at lightning speed, putting huge pressure on Israel's air defense systems. Faced with such a high volume of targets, Israel's Iron Dome and other defenses are overwhelmed. So far, Iran's counterattacks, under the codename True Promise, have already reached their 24th round. In this series of strikes, Iran focused its firepower on the key points of the U.S. missile defense system, including the radar eyes at Qatar's Al Udeid Air Base, the long-range early warning radar Paveclaw, and the AN/TPY-2 radars of the THAAD system deployed in the UAE and Jordan. All of these were hit precisely by ballistic missiles. It's worth noting that these were once the pride of the U.S. military's defense setups in places like South Korea and Japan. So far, Iran claims it has destroyed 3 U.S. THAAD missile defense systems and key facilities at several military bases in the Middle East, completely throwing off the U.S. military's deployment rhythm in the region. What's more, the U.S. aircraft carrier USS Bush has already set sail and is expected to reach the Indian Ocean within a week. Once the 3 U.S. carriers are together, things could get serious. The number of U.S. Navy carrier-based aircraft is expected to reach around 240, with carrier operations hitting about 1,000 takeoffs and landings. This means the U.S. is quickly boosting its naval strike power in the Middle East. The war is likely moving into its second phase, shifting from limited strikes to a bigger, full-scale confrontation. At the same time, European countries are starting to make moves too. As soon as the French Charles de Gaulle aircraft carrier entered the Mediterranean, the UK agreed to open the Diego Garcia base to provide a launch platform for US strategic bombers. If the conflict escalates, bombers like the B-52, B-1B, and the stealthy B-2 could all take part in a large-scale airstrike against Iran. But can airstrikes alone really take down Iran? About half of Iran and Oppo's land is mountainous, and a lot of their military facilities are already built into underground bunker systems. As long as they rely on these deep underground defenses, the U.S. military, relying only on airstrikes without deploying ground troops, will find it hard to completely destroy their missile capabilities. On the other hand, Iran can still keep using ballistic missiles and drones to continuously strike back at U.S. bases and aircraft carriers. If the previous attack on the USS Lincoln was just a test, then what comes next? Iran might take a more aggressive approach. Iran's Foreign Minister Araghchi said